I'm James Helder and welcome to a pitch special as we look at the season so far. I'm quite fortunate enough to be joined by the Tottenham fans this time. Ollie and Alfie, what's happening, boys? You okay?
Well, mate.
All good, thank you. Good to be back.
We've also got former professional footballer Simon Walton along for the ride to give his expert analysis and opinion on things so far. How are you, Simon? You okay, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, really well. Look like that film Castaway. Tom Hanks. Been on some kind of island that we don't know about.
Wilson, yeah.
Wilson.
My mate Wilson, yeah.
Loving the beard. Probably 7 years to grow like that.
It's about 7 days for me. It takes the pressure off losing it on top. So it's upside down head.
I hear that. Fully relatable. Gentlemen, I hope you've been enjoying the season so far. Tottenham have got off to a good start, sitting third in the Premier League. Must be quite satisfying. Let's start initially, okay, on the transfer window and the players that have brought in. What do you think of the performance of the players that have come in so far? I'm going to go initially to Ollie on this one.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of them play yet. I mean, we've seen a couple of starts. Perisic, I think, has been the main player that we've seen in the lineup playing for us. We've seen Richarlison come off the bench and obviously starting for us last Wednesday, which I think was a very monumentous game for him. It showed how much it meant to him. I feel that it's shown that the money we have spent hasn't gone to waste on anything this season. I definitely say that we're pushing players, they're working together. I would, in my opinion, though, I'd say our new signings have been making a big difference to the squad. But I'd say some of our players that we've already had, such as Son and Kane, haven't been getting into games as much yet. So there's still a lot to come. Still got to get used to all this new chemistry, working with new players, the changing of shape. But it's been such a great start to the season. Something, I didn't think we'd see again. The White Hart Lane days, it takes us back to them, and we're really starting to feel at home now as well. I don't really have much to add on it. I think it's been a great window and we've got great talent coming in now, and I think it's only onwards and upwards from now.
Ollie, let's talk initially about the start Tottenham Hotspur have made this season under Antonio Conte. Can you put it into words for me so far, what you're thinking about it?
It's been a very different start to the season. Obviously, from a Tottenham fan's perspective, we're used to getting into games and going, things are looking well, and then we start sort of come out of August. August for us goes on really well or really shit. So, but we've gone through August and towards the middle of September now, we haven't lost a game yet. We've got momentum going forward. Our only issue now that Conte needs to improve on is the way we start games, because we can start the first 10 minutes of the game, we look like we're going to win that game 5-6-0. And then after that, the opposition will just pick up so much, pace and momentum, and will just walk right through us. And we start to look really shallow. I feel, because obviously if you've seen the stats, most of our points come from the last 15 minutes of games. And obviously that is a stat we need to improve on, especially against mid sort of table teams. But it's been the best start to a Tottenham season I've seen since the Pochettino days, in my opinion. And I do think Conte's perspective and long-term vision of the club will take this club back to glory days and glory nights.
Alf, what's your take on it so far? How do you think Conte's doing with the squad? How do you think they've developed since last season?
I think we've made it's been weird trying to, obviously, we're so used to playing a certain type of football Pochettino way. And then obviously Jose came in and then we started playing really defensive, not attacking. And then Nuno ball. I mean, that was a bit of a interesting moment of time. But since Conte's come in, we've finally got a bit of structure. And I think that's what we've lacked in the past is structure. And I mean, since he's come in, you can tell there's a completely different attitude in the change room, and mentality's changed completely now. There's games where, I mean, for example, the Chelsea game where we were getting, they were all over us. We were lucky to only have conceded 2, but it's games like that where last season, pre-Conte or without him having a pre-season, you'd lose them games easily. And to come back and then draw, I think shows how well Conte is actually doing as a manager. And I think he's managed to Levy's spending money, so he's obviously done something right. When him and Paratici have got something going, so I mean, I'm all for it. I'm unbeaten so far. Hopefully, that will stay like that in the league for as long as possible. But yeah, I'm really proud of the team at the moment, and I'm impressed with what's been going on.
Simon, what do you make of the points that the boys have made in terms of the transition of the style of play under Conte, getting away from that Pochettino style that they ever so been under for so long?
Well, I think the best signing that Spurs have made in recent years is Conte, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, the manager himself not guarantees success, but just him and himself brings something with him that only a handful of managers throughout the world have. But I think what they've done, looking from the outside in this year, the strength in depth seems to be there a lot more. You know how many games there is now, and the successful teams can replace player A with player B and not really see much of a difference. You look at the likes of Man City. You even look at how Liverpool are struggling now because they lose a couple and their strength in depth's not what it used to be. So I think they've done really well. I think also the players out has probably helped. A lot of deadwood seems to have been moved on and been replaced by players. You look at the likes of Bissouma and Richarlison, who probably were never going to be regular starters straight away, but in terms of coming on and changing games or being a replacement and you look at Jed Spence, they've kind of mixed it up with a bit of experience and youth as well. So I think on a whole, the recruitment has been a real positive, because as we know that you've got to have a big squad to be successful and a strength in depth. And I think Spurs have always kind of had a 1 to 11 that you would expect to be up there and challenging in terms of Champions League spots, but the kind of 5 or 6 underneath have never quite been able to come in and replicate that. But you look at the strength in depth now, and yeah, that they're right up there for a reason. I don't think it's any surprise that they are where they are right now, but I'll reiterate that the manager has been the best signing for that football club for the last few years.
When you think of Conte, you think of obviously success that he's had in the past, his ability to handle pressure as well. How much did that spat that Thomas Tuchel had with Antonio Conte, how much did that contribute to his demise at Chelsea? I'm going to go initially to Ollie on this one.
I think the passion that Conte has to deliver football for us, because when he first came to us, he said he wants to deliver something to us fans and something we won't forget. Whether he wins something with us or has successes with us in our finishes, one thing we'll know is Conte will leave a path of success for the history of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. But I think after what happened between him and Tuchel, you know, in my opinion, it was they were just trying to shake each other's hand, and obviously the anger got there. It's a derby. That's the beautiful thing of football. People, you know, you hear people now go say, no, it's not, this is disgusting. But I think when that moment happened, you saw how much it meant to Conte to pick that point up to, you know, do everything. You saw the fury raging through Thomas Tuchel, and a manager doesn't need to react like that. But the fact he went running down the touchline celebrating and acting like a div, you know, isn't the right way to act. I mean, we've seen managers do it in the past before. But I think the way Conte handled the situation and kept his cool is a reason why he wasn't banned from the touchline. But also, you know, he's a man of his words, and he kills people with words. He doesn't kill people with his actions. He kills people with words. And the way he watches, you know, other teams, and the way he can assess it, and then we can come out in the second half in another part by making a substitution and change the game like that. That's what the big thing for us is now. But also, after that incident with Tuchel, that's when, you know, I think it took a lot of confidence out of Thomas Tuchel himself, and then unfortunately left to him getting the sack.
Do you think that argument and the way Conte handled it to the way Thomas Tuchel handled it had any effect and any bearing on the way that Chelsea went forward?
Probably, because the thing with Chelsea is, you know, they're known for having all these, you know, different things, like you saw it with Mourinho, and when he had a go with Conte back then as well. You know, it's always been arguments of Chelsea, Sarri and all that. You know, they're a club that's full of trouble, and obviously they've had a lot go on in the last 6-7 months. But I feel that the way we handled it and the way we really knocked the strength out of them, like we showed them that this is a derby, this is Tottenham Chelsea. We really, really stole that game away from them in that last, 30 minutes of that game. We could have won 3-2, 4-2. But I think we really took something from that game. And I think if we lost that game, we wouldn't have the run we've had in now. I wouldn't see us beating Marseille last Wednesday. They did that. I think that game grew us on confidence so much, as it did. I believe it was Easter Sunday, 2018, when Christian Eriksen scored that beautiful dipping goal, and we won 3-1 at the Bridge to win there for the first time in God knows how long, way before any of our times. But yeah.
Ollie, Alfie, what are your thoughts on the altercation with Conte and Thomas Tuchel? How did you assess that?
I mean, well, as a Spurs fan, I'm always going to be biased towards Spurs and Conte, but it's sort of, I didn't mind. It's good to see that there's still passion there in football, because you think back to Battle of the Bridge, and in games of football, you want to see a bit of passion, you want to see a bit of aggression, because it shows that they care. And I mean, Tuchel basically just lost it because for whatever reason, and ended up looking like a prick. And Conte was cool, calm-headed, got annoyed. But I think, if I'm honest with you, I reckon that was why that started the old staircase to Tuchel being sacked from that one incident. And I think Conte and the whole of Spurs are living rent-free in Chelsea's heads right now.
The beautiful game, as they say.
Is it changed your aspirations for this season, the way Tottenham are playing so far? As a fan, have you now starting to aim higher in terms of where you see the team placing this season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the start of the season, I was kind of hoping just for, top four, decent cup runs, decent Champions League run. But since the start, the thing is, we've been winning games and drawing games, but we've not actually been playing that well. So I think at the start of the season, when the team, there's a lot of new signings. What is it, 6, I think. There's a lot of new signings, and then we've got to add, we've got to integrate them into the team. You've got Udogie back at Udinese. So that's one for the future. So it shows you that we're obviously thinking about the future as well. But I feel like start of the season, like I said, we've not been playing well. So I think it can only get better. And if that's what top teams do, they win games even though they're not playing to their best. So fingers crossed, we might be. I'm not saying, I reckon we could maybe get nip third maybe this season.
Ollie, is he realistic in his goals? Do you think that's a fair target, or are you open and optimistic to Spurs title challenge this year? Dare I say it?
I would love a Tottenham Arsenal title race. I will not lie.
Yeah.
That would be great. It would be historic. And one thing I will say is this season is historic now anyway. Obviously, through the events of the last week, obviously very sad times, for the United Kingdom at the minute. But I do feel that this season is going to end on a high for London clubs, especially Tottenham. Obviously, you've had Arsenal, the way Arsenal started this season surprised me. Obviously, as a Tottenham fan, it was making my heart, skip a few beats. But I feel that, they've lost to Man United. Obviously, then, we got the win against Fulham, which is obviously a good, bright thing to see. Obviously, if we can keep our run going, our momentum going, but what I said earlier, we need to start games, better and keep it going. Not a good spell for the first 5 minutes. We need to be able to continue that. Obviously, yes, players get tired as time progresses, but if you start a game so raring to go, and you've got us 62,000 fans, screaming our hearts out, because we love it. We love what we've built in our stadium. We love the people we sing with, the people we see every other weekend, the songs we sing, we want to see our team perform, not just for a 10, 15 minute spell at different times of the game, but I do see something happening this season. I don't know what, for us, I'm practically seeing me sitting at Wembley for an FA Cup semi-final, a Carabao Cup final. I do think something bright is going to happen for us this season, and I feel that we've waited so long to see it. I feel that now within Conte, we have so much more confidence as a club, and obviously, as Alfie said, Levy spending money and bringing the trust in means he sees something in Conte and he doesn't want to lose him just yet. But whatever happens, happens. And the next sort of 10, 15 years for Tottenham, I just only see us getting better and better and building on what we've built so far as a club.
Simon, give me your assessment of where Tottenham are now in comparison to making a title challenge or pushing for the top three, as the boys have pointed out.
In terms of a title race, I said at the start, I don't think there's going to be much of a race. I'll be brutally honest. I think Man City are out there by themselves. There may be a race for second, but I know Spurs are not, they say, winning games and not playing particularly well. But apart from Arsenal, probably, who are exceeding expectations, none of the top teams are playing well. So they've got to deal with Liverpool coming back stronger. They've got to deal with Chelsea coming back stronger now that things seem to have changed. So I don't know. Look, again, the lads will probably disagree with me, but I think if Tottenham finish fourth this season, that's a success. Champions League football is a success, and maybe a Carabao Cup semi-final or something. But I think that the fact there's still a couple, you look at Man United, whatever could happen with them, I think there's still going to be some good teams who are performing well below par at the minute who are going to come on strong. So it's plain sailing at the minute. But in terms of a title race, I can't see anyone getting close to Man City. I really can't. When you look at how they're performing and their squad and what they've got at their disposal, I think it's not done and dusted. It's only September, but I mean, I think that they've set a stall out that anyone will do well to get anywhere near. But look, I think there'll be 4 or 5 teams fighting for the next 3 spots. Tottenham have got as good a chance as any at the minute, but again, looking from the outside in, the boys will probably tell me to shut up, you dirty Leeds fan, but I think if they finish 4th, that'll be another successful season for them, because I think there's still a little way to go before they start challenging for actual titles in terms of winning the Premier League.
This is Conte's second window he's had with Tottenham. Is that right, boys?
Yeah, it's his first full window. Obviously, had January as well. But
yeah. What players or what positions would you identify that are the final pieces, if you like, that will push Tottenham from challenging for 5th, 4th, 3rd to making that step up to the elite levels to push the likes of Liverpool and Man City? What positions do you see?
Goalkeeper, surely. Gotta say
goalkeeper, left back, right back, goalkeeper, and probably a new winger.
Centre back's a big one. You think about it. You've got Romero now, and he's good. He's just a bit. He's like a rough diamond. He just
Romero makes me lose my fingernails every week. Put it that way, because I just
he's an aggressive centre back, proper centre back, which I don't mind. But I think we've got Eric Dyer, who's good. We signed Langley, and he's currently with us on loan. We just need that. We've made good signings this summer with Richarlison as well. I mean, 60 million, but I wouldn't say we've made a marquee signing. And I think if we really want to start pushing towards winning titles, when you're competing with City, you've got Haaland. I mean, it's like you said, Simon, it's not happening anytime soon.
Exactly. No.
But I think you do need to spend a big portion of your money and get a player like Bastoni or something, like we try to get a big marquee summer signing, because you won't get them in January. Let's be honest, it'll be the next summer, or Gvardiol from Leipzig. Get a big centre back signing, and that will completely transform the back line. And then all you need then is we'll have Jed Spence, hopefully. We needed a wing back. So hopefully Jed Spence will start playing regular football in the next up and coming months, because I mean Emerson Morale is okay defensively, but attacking wise he does not get into the positions that he should be.
No,
and then I think after that it is just a creative midfielder, someone that we can bring on if we need a few goals.
I definitely feel that most of the players that we did sign over the summer period were people we can sort of bring on if there is something, going on in the game. We need something switched up, because that's what they're used to playing, or they're used from being from mid-tier clubs, in the Premier League, or, maybe from below that have just come up into the league, that come on fresh pair of legs and, get the team going. Within our squad, as Alfie said, and I feel that he's hit the nail on the head, really, we need a big signing, whether it be a defender or a new wing back, because Emerson Royale, he's a player that, do we trust, do we not? Because he doesn't show much aggression. Obviously, we rely so heavily on players like Christian Romero, and we can't always rely on that one player, every match day, because he's normally out every other blooming week because he's a nut job. But that's why us Tottenham fans love him, because he really does give his all for this badge on this shirt right here. And it's, we've seen so much development in the last 2 years. It is crazy to watch. And I do hope we get a big signing, but the Premier League is the most unpredictable and the best football league in the world. Need I say more?
Is there a risk if you don't reach the targets that Conte and Daniel Levy have set this season, that Conte may look at another project, or do you see it as a long-term thing, the thing between Tottenham and Conte going forward?
The thing with Antonio Conte is he is a manager that wants to walk away with something. That is his biggest point. He's delivered in so many clubs, Inter, Juventus, Chelsea. He's won something at all those clubs. I don't care if he wins anything with us. All I want him to see is make Tottenham the club they really are. He's made our stadium the fortress it should be. He's given us fans, our trust back, our love back, our passion back. From the videos when obviously you've seen me out on the high roads, smiling, really determined to get those results, or really happy after these big wins. All of this since Conte has come in, for us Spurs fans, it does feel like the Pochettino days are back. We're a very old-fashioned club with so much history. We want to build on that, and obviously, as the next generation of Tottenham fans, it's something hopefully me and Alfie get to see within our lifetimes. But you can't predict it. But I do definitely think Conte will walk away from Tottenham with something. But if he doesn't get what he wants, he will walk, because he is a manager that knows what he wants and he knows what's best. In my personal opinion, I think Italian football managers are probably the best in the world, because they're so religiously built up on sport, and they are so passionate and so delicate with everything they do. But whatever he does, and for the things he's done at the club so far, us fans can't do nothing but thank him and raise our hands, because it's been a brilliant nearly a year so far. So
Yeah, that. Simon, long-term Conte, Tottenham Hotspurs, what's your take?
I don't know if he does long-term, does he? What's long-term in his book? Two seasons?
2 seasons.
Two seasons.
Yeah. I don't know the whole situation around his contract. Obviously, it was quite short-term when he came in, which surprised a few people. But, excuse me, like the lad said, he's been successful in terms of winning things wherever he's been. So he won't have taken a job where he doesn't think he can succeed. Let's be honest, he didn't need to just walk into a job, probably like Pochettino does now. He just needs a job and sharpish, or else his stock falls. Whereas Conte's stock gets higher and higher. So he didn't need the job. He obviously felt that there was foundations there for him to come in and be successful. But like I said, what long term is for him, it may be, if, like I said, he finished 4th or 3rd, maybe that's success in his eyes, and he walks away a happy man. But I'll reiterate, from the outside in, Conte has certainly been the best signing that that Spurs have made over the last few years. Not only him himself, but the players that he can bring with him. And I go back to this marquee signing. I'm going to end up and leave a bombshell and a little rhetorical question. Does Harry Kane allow a marquee signing?
Interesting.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is a question, that.
Does he allow? Tottenham will probably get to a point with Conte where bigger players, well, I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but where the bigger names, the worldwide stars, will probably see it as an exciting place to be. But when does Harry Kane's stock start to fall slightly that allows these big hitters to come in? That's my only type of long-term worried where that crossover comes, because he seems to have run the show for the last couple of years, as we all
I'm going to say is, where's he been the start of this season? That's the only thing. He doesn't seem to be on the ball like he normally is, banging goals in. Son's been very, very quiet. It's been very different. We've sort of been looking at our midfielders and other players, like Richarlison, as we've said. I think, we've heard all the stories the last sort of 2-3 years, Harry Kane saying he wants to leave, this and that. What is he, 28 now, 29? He's the captain of the England squad. He took them to a Euro final. Obviously, we have the World Cup in November, which is obviously, I think, could stir up the season come Boxing Day, when obviously football returns again, because players are going to be tired, they're going to be fatigued, they're going to be maybe celebrating if their nation wins, the competition. This season is probably the most historic Premier League season, we will see in a while. Obviously, it's the 30th year, I believe, this season as well. So it is monumentous. It's a very different season. But I think Harry Kane, I do think he's got more juice in the tank for us. We get these little blips of, is he going to go this summer, or is he going to? Because obviously, yes, there's the thing. Harry Kane doesn't score in the month of August. We've been through all of this, but I can't make any assumptions about it. If I even had an opinion, I would say it, but I don't, because we hear it at every window, all the rumours, all the, what's his name, Fabrizio Romano. Twitter's your worst enemy as a football fan, so you get it all the time.
Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. I know it's business time. Lads, quite finally, one player that came in for a lot of criticism is obviously Richarlison for his time-wasting shithousery. However you want to phrase it. Was it overkill on the criticism? He done a few kicky uppies, or was it deserved?
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah. He got floored after it.
Yeah, he's one of these players.
Where's the fun gone in football, mate? Honestly, people criticising. Where's it's just what 11 robots. Nobody swears. Nobody shows emotion. Nobody does anything wrong. Where's the fun and characters?
Football culture is all about getting your Stone Island jumper on, or your big woolly clothes when it's 40 degrees outside. Get a nice cold beer in your hand. You get fucked off your nut. You see people you don't see often. You come from far and wide. You sing the songs. You scream at the opposition, something you don't even know what you're going on about, And yet you have those little brawls, or you have those arguments, or those heated debates. That's what football culture is, and it is upsetting to see. Obviously, I understand some of the things the Premier League are trying to say, but football isn't football without these little, bits and bobs. Because it's our religion, it's our culture, it's what our parents have done for many years. It's what we want to see if we haven't. Our children do. It's a lifestyle, and it's those things you do which take you out from reality and make you happy. But I'm touching on Richarlison. When he first joined, I was very, 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 very much on the criticism wagon, because I thought 60 million really for where he's been, but I shed a tear in my eye last Wednesday night, to see how much it meant to him to score them goals, and to wear obviously that on the side of his shirt. But I do feel that he wears the shirt with pride, and I feel that good things will come from him in due course, obviously. But time will tell. Time's your worst enemy.
Yeah, but when he heard that Champions League music, it was a little bit magical for him, wasn't it?
Yeah. When you hear that in the stadium, you just... you go, wow, it's an amazing feeling. Obviously, I remember you telling me, Alfie, on Wednesday night, at half time, how the scenes were and how it felt and how magical it is to hear that ring through the stadium. Obviously, it is very monumentous. And, me and Alfie have been going to games now for about a year now, but we've always followed the club from when we were little. We always have done. And to see what we're seeing now, it's nice to, go as mates that you've known your whole life and, sing our songs and make the memories. And, we love talking to you guys about it because it's what we like to do, because we want people to realise that there are still fans out there that, love their club, sometimes more than they love their own loved ones or families, sometimes. But, the Champions League means a lot to footballers, to fans, to us, even financially, yes. But I feel that this
season,
season,
leave you, mate. He loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah, obviously. But this season for us, it's so nice to be back. It's so nice to have a proper season where you're guaranteed your fans and to come together and share everything. And that's the beauty of football.
So all in all, quite satisfied so far with the business done in the window, the way the players have performed, with the club stature increasing and the league form. All happy.
I'd say we're happy. I think Alfie will agree with me on this, because we've always touched base on this, even with our parents as well, who are Tottenham fans, other football fans from other clubs. Obviously, we normally go with my old man, but we've always said we need to start games faster and we need to get the early goals in and put games to bed. The more, we can get forward, get the chances and get the crowd going, the better we'll get. But like I said, it's a weird season. I think we've got, 6 or 7 more match days, and then we've got a month break. So obviously international break coming up as well. So we'll have to see what happens. But obviously we'll be here giving opinions and different things like that. But it's going to be a very crazy next 6-7 months, not just for Tottenham, but for the Premier League. We'll have to see what happens.
Love that. Gentlemen, I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed discussing Tottenham's season so far.
But you never thought you'd hear yourself say that, did you?
These boys don't know I'm an Arsenal fan. I try not to tell them.
Oh, it's fine. I know you are. We've spoke many times.
I just keep my head down. Do you know what I mean?
I saw your face after the derby, Helder. I saw your face, mate.
It was a signal, honestly. At the derby, I was just sick. It was going off. There was Arsenal fans running about half time, sulking.
I remember I said to you after I came off, I said, it's all right. I'll go and have a pint for you. But we'll have to see. When is it? 1st of October, isn't it? We'll have to see. I
wouldn't be so confident, Ollie. I really wouldn't.
Oh, I'm feeling it. If the shithousery at Man United can do them, then we can do them. As I said at the end of one of my pitch interviews, we're the Tottenham, we're the best, we're the Tottenham, so fuck all the rest.
It'll be interesting to see how Tottenham get on. With the added Champions League games as well, I'm guessing the squad rotation is going to be more important.
Yeah.
Players will be getting more game time. I guess that's a key thing as well. Should be exciting. I'm quite apprehensive to see how it's going to work with the World Cup and stuff.
Yeah,
it's very different. I don't agree with it, but let's just hope it's not like this again.
All it takes is a few injuries in the World Cup, international break, and it's make or break for seasons, really, isn't it?
It could be a weird season again. Do you remember that season, Leicester? Little Leicester won the Premier League.
Yeah.
God almighty.
Right. All I'll say is Norway are not in the World Cup, so Man City are fine. They could play the youth team and Haaland up front, so they'll be fine, mate. So I won't worry about it. I don't
think about it.
We always do well against Man City. That's what I was looking forward to Saturday, but obviously, sad times obviously take in front of it. But whenever we do rock up to the Etihad, all I'm going to say to Mr. Noel Gallagher is thanks back in anger, sunshine, because we're in town. And I think it's going to be a good run in before and after the World Cup. But like I said, it's about December's about the time of year Harry Kane's ankles normally give way. So we'll have to hopefully be doing this, and hopefully it all goes well. But no, I have to see what happens.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time today. It's a great pleasure to get you on. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, download our app at Pitch Football. We're also on Spotify, Pitch Footy for the podcasts. Get involved in the app. Loads of shirt giveaways, tickets, fan competitions, content like this. loads of other stuff. And thank you to Simon Walton for his time as well today. It's been fantastic. Have a good one, lads. I'll catch you real soon. Thank you very much.
Cheers, boys.